Hello, this is Andrew. Welcome to Collaborative Learning. Today's book is Dhammapada by Siddhartha Gautama the Buddha. If you like my work, please like it, subscribe to this channel, check the playlists, and support me on Patreon and PayPal. The links to Patreon and PayPal are included in the description to this video. First, I'll describe the contents of the book, talk about what's interesting about it, then I'll move on to what you can get out of this book. We are what we think. All we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. Suffering follows an evil thought, as the wheels of a cart follow the ox that draw it. Our life is shaped by our mind. We become what we think. Joy follows a pure thought, like a shadow that never departs. Ardent and alarmed through strength, virtue, and vigor, through concentration and investigation of the truth, mindful and possessing of right knowledge and conduct, you will leave this great suffering behind. These are the words of Siddhartha Gautama, also known as the Buddha. These verses emphasizes the power of the human mind in shaping our lives and the importance and effectiveness of a person's own thoughts, actions, and choices. What we control and what we allow to control us, that is what the Buddha has taught me. The Dhammapada is a collection of short sayings of the Buddha in verse form. It is 423 verses, organized in 26 chapters. It is one of the most practical, easy to read, and popular of all Buddhist scriptures. Each of the sayings of Siddhartha Gautama, who was the Buddha, was recorded in the Dhammapada. These quotes were made and recorded as the Buddha's responses to various questions and dilemmas of life that arose in the Buddhist monastic community. This text summarizes complicated models, theories, and an extremely large quantity of the Buddhist teachings into short, easy to remember, and easily quotable verses. In essence, the Dhammapada is the cliff notes of Buddhism. It makes the Buddhist way of life accessible to anyone, including complete beginners. It may have been composed and written down in the 3rd century BCE and used as a Buddhist communication tool. It is argued by a translator of the Dhammapada, Eketh Eswaran, that the Dhammapada is the equivalent of Christ's Sermon on the Mount is for Christianity. If all Buddhist and Christian texts were lost, humanity would only need the Sermon on the Mount and the Dhammapada to follow the way of Christ and the Buddha. The Dhammapada is a guide for human life. At its core, it outlines behaviors, patterns of thoughts, and philosophies that people can follow to obtain their best way of life. It focuses on the moral and spiritual dilemmas that we encounter. It teaches that all suffering stems from desire, and the way to attain happiness and freedom in the here and now is to purify the heart and follow the way of truth. It is a very practical guide on how to conduct one's life here on earth. The verses provide useful solutions on how to confront anger and hatred, and how to promote forgiveness and love, how to fight evil within oneself, and how to expand the good, how to let go of one's issues, and how to let go of self-victimization, how to find the strength to endure abuse, how to release yourself from the bonds of the past, how to defeat one's own fear of death. The voice of the Buddha helps you confront and let go of vain, harmful desires. He helps you develop profound gratitude for family and good friends, profound gratitude for this life and good health, and how to accomplish these large number of psychological achievements with a habit of forever seeking wisdom with meditation and clear, logical thinking. What pervades the Dhammapada besides Buddhist psychological principles is the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. The first noble truth is that life is suffering. The second noble truth is that the cause of suffering is intense desire. The third noble truth is that the end of suffering comes with an end of this intense desire. The fourth noble truth is that there is a way leading to the end of suffering, and this way is the Noble Eightfold Path. These 8 qualities are right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. When you walk the Noble Eightfold Path, you walk the path of the Buddha, and suffering follows away and ends. By recognizing the Four Noble Truths and following the Noble Eightfold Path, a person could find release from craving and attachment to the things of this world and liberate oneself from the endless cycle of suffering. The Dhammapada is striking in how concise and devoid of excess it is. It is the fundamental basics of Buddhism. It is proof that Buddha had a deep understanding of human psychology without the benefit of any modern science. As a consequence, the text is eternal and timeless. Even though our environments change, cultures evolve, and technology advances, the many core themes that are at the heart of being human remain unchanged. The Dhammapada is in stark contrast to the long, often complicated, and often mysterious Buddhist texts of the Pali Canon, the original Buddhist scriptures, which are composed of many tomes that are much longer than the New and Old Testaments of Christianity. These are called the three Pitakas, the Vinaya Pitaka, the Sutta Pitaka, and the Abhidhamma Pitaka. Each are composed of numerous works. This is a massive quantity of material that stands in stark contrast to the comparably short yet poetic and dense Dhammapada. There are also many quite mystical and elusive sutras that are similar in shorter length. But I have not found any sutra that is as practical and repeatable as the Dhammapada. Another power of the Dhammapada is that it has similar therapeutic effects as the Tao Te Ching. They are powerful tools, particularly in audiobook form, for logically and emotionally recentering oneself and beating anxiety, anger, sadness, and other bad states of mind. In an hour and a half, they will help you relieve anxiety and let go of your issues. As a timeless quality, as the verse speak truths that help ground you in the here and now, and think more logically about the issues that trouble you currently. So it's good medicine that can be taken repeatedly whenever needed. Like the Tao, the Dhammapada must be read over and over again, and at different times in one's life, in order to get the most out of it. These simple but hard to practice truths require constant reminding. With progressively more experience and knowledge, the meaning of the verses become more and more multidimensional and clear to the point where they become second nature. It was exactly like this for me. The first time I read the Dhammapada, I did not get that much out of it, and I didn't fully understand it. But after years of studying psychology and philosophy and Buddhism, the power of these verses are more clear now than ever before. I'm sure that next time I will see them differently once I listen to them again. The Dhammapada ends with a series of verses on the highest level of person, which is the Brahma. The Buddha says, "One who conquers himself is greater than one who conquers 1,000 times. 1,000 men on the battlefield. Be victorious over yourself and not over others." When you obtain victory over yourself, not even the gods can turn it into defeat. I call him a Brahma, whose knowledge is deep, who is a man of understanding, who knows what is and what is not the way, and who has reached the supreme goal. This is a person that is close or even at the stage of perfect and complete enlightenment. To sum things up, you yourself have to do the work. Buddha points you in the right direction. While the Buddha communicates these ideas with clarity, wisdom, and clear logic, the hard part is putting it into practice, as they are so counterintuitive. We have so many bad and destructive habits. I think most people will struggle with this for months or years. We need to develop deeper and deeper understanding of these concepts and combine them with strong willpower and readiness to act. If we follow them, it will bring a dramatic change in one's life and perspective. For me, I have studied this path, and a few years later, I found it to be true. My whole attitude and personality had changed, and my personal sense of well-being dramatically improved. I highly recommend the Dhammapada and Tao Te Ching. They are my most often used spiritual texts, and the two texts, one from Taoism and one from Buddhism, mutually reinforce each other. I also recommend Shantideva's The Way of the Bodhisattva, as presented and commented by Pema Chodron's book, No Time to Lose. Shantideva's verses are more advanced, but have similar effects and purposes as the Dhammapada. The great Japanese monk Dogen Genji's Shobogenzo is even more advanced, but also very powerful. Outside of Taoism and Buddhism, there's also the Stoicism of the Greek and Romans, my favorite Stoic out of all of them, and the one I believe is the most useful and practical are the great works of Seneca. In particular, I recommend Letters from a Stoic. To conclude, the Dhammapada provides criteria to live well and happily. This is eternal criteria. I recommend that this book should be read many times as possible throughout the course of your life. I rate the Dhammapada 6 out of 5 stars. So that's what I think about the Dhammapada. Please put your thoughts and ideas in the comment section. They always make a great conversation. I hope you find my review to be informative. Thanks for watching.